Brooks and Davis Real Estate Firm, LLC, offers more value than any other good full-service real estate brokerage firm when it comes to the sale of your home. We offer at least 27 things that contribute to your home selling in the least amount of time at the highest price. To receive our free home selling pamphlet, email us at info@brooksanddavis.com or call 713-665-8329. We also assist people who want to purchase homes or who are interested in getting their real estate license. Visit us at www.brooksanddavis.com.
Are you an inspiring entrepreneur? Or maybe you're an entrepreneur looking to take your business to the next level. My name is Larry W. Brooks, and I am the author of Empowering Quotes for the Entrepreneur in You and The Entrepreneur Code. In these two books, I guarantee you there's success secrets that will take your business to the next level. I personally invite you to visit larrywbrooks.com. Go under the books link and purchase your signed personal copy from myself. You have a great day and have an awesome 2020. Pure Hustle is not only a clothing brand, but it is a movement. I personally invite you to visit shoppurehustle.com. How do you survive?
Happy Thursday. Welcome to the Prime Real Estate Network podcast. I'm your host, Ric Davis. If you don't follow me on social media, I urge you to do so at Prime Real Estate Ric. You can follow me on Facebook and Instagram at Prime Real Estate Ric. And if you're looking to buy, sell, or invest in commercial or residential real estate anywhere in the great state of Texas, but especially here in our lovely city of Houston, I urge you to stop by our website at brooksanddavis.com. It's an honor and a pleasure to be here with you this Thursday. I thank everyone for tuning in. We have a really exciting show set up for you today. Today's show is entitled Intellectual Protection, because our guest today is going to talk to all of our members of our audience and viewers about how to best protect yourself from a business perspective and also to protect those ideas that you might have been coming up with while you've had all this extra time during the quarantine period. As always, my co-host is not only a multi-time author, he's also a serial entrepreneur, a Texas real estate broker known the worldwide as the Texas Real Estate King. And as always, I'd like to introduce to the Prime Real Estate Network audience my co-host, Mr. Larry W. Brooks. What's going on, family?
Hey. I ain't got no complaints, Rick. I'm good, man. Everything has been a good week, fun week. Weather's been good in the H. What can I say?
I mean, the city, seems like the city is coming back alive a little bit. I've been really proud of the city of Houston, especially for the last week to 10 days. I feel like the people here in the city have done a great job of not only promoting the city, but also showing that the citizens here in Houston are very active as far as what they want to see change, as far as political structure, as far as the law enforcement structure. And I think it's played really well in the national media.
No doubt, man.
I've had friends and family call me from out of town, friends from out of the country, requesting that I grab them yesterday's Houston Chronicle so that they could have coverage of the funeral from a local perspective. And that's one of the things that we don't always have an opportunity to enjoy. But I think, especially as professionals that practice here in the city of Houston, that the city of Houston can be shown in such a positive light, I think works well for everyone here as residents and also as business professionals.
No doubt, man. And speaking of that, for those of you that are looking to get educated on the Black experience, Netflix has an amazing featured platform they got going on right now. It's called Black Lives Matter. So there's some things on there. I've been just catching up on just our history itself. So for those of you that don't know, or those of you that's always like, when did that happen? Or, go on now. There's some good stuff on there. It'll give you an opportunity to educate you on our plight.
I urge everyone to just take some time now to educate themselves. It's a lot of things that have always been common knowledge from a historical perspective. But I think sometimes as we evolve as a society, we tend to put things on a back burner, and we tend to put what's happening more recently in a more important light than things that have happened in the past. But I think people are now starting to appreciate where we've come from as a society and where we need to go in the future, so that everyone has the opportunity to enjoy everything that this country is supposed to offer to its residents.
No doubt about it.
But man, I want to get to today's show, because me and you talk a lot about how to be our best use of our time, especially during this quarantine period. I know you're a serial entrepreneur. I'm a serial entrepreneur, and from that standpoint, the gears are always turning when you see inequities in the business market, where you might see inequities in marketing, and you always think about what new companies could actually bridge that gap and make everything that is most useful for everyone in the area. So today, I was really, really excited that we could have not only a practicing real estate attorney.
Before you say it,
yes,
let me tell you, I tried to get Efin on here forever.
Right.
This one here, she snuck back in the city, and I had to wait to this time period before I was able to get her on the show as well. But she's been, and I like to plug this, when y'all are reaching out to me and asking me about my real estate attorney, today is the plug. I'm giving y'all my plug today. So y'all want to focus in. Y'all got questions, y'all can ask them now. But y'all make sure y'all take down the information that she gives y'all, because she told me, look, Beezy, you be giving them my cell number. I was like, okay, my bad. I be giving y'all the inside connect. So look here, I want y'all to tune in. Y'all pay attention.
Larry, you
today,
will
man.
not give away the number to the bat phone.
What, the bat phone?
You giving the bat phone number out?
This has been my connect for over 10 years. So that's validation right there.
Absolutely,
for these people,
man. Because I can understand how it was a challenge carving some time out of her busy schedule to sit in with us, because not only is she a practicing real estate attorney, but she's also a published author as well. So without any further ado, I would like to introduce to the Prime Real Estate Network audience Ms. Natasha L. Gransberry. How you doing?
Good afternoon. I'm well.
Thank you so much for sitting in with us, ma'am.
Thank you for inviting me.
Larry gonna start off. You gonna start off the interview with a personal story, bro.
I'm just saying, like, what y'all don't know, and another reason why it's hard to get a time. This is probably the most avid Texans fan that I know personally, because I believe, and I want you to touch on that. So I didn't know if y'all already talked about that, but I want you to touch on your Texans history at some point. So you can go ahead and take over now. To me, it's a fascinating story. Just when you watch, the plight that she's
because the thing about it is that we would be remiss if we didn't illustrate for our audience how well-rounded not only a businesswoman and entrepreneur Ms. Gransberry is. Larry spoke about your affinity for the Houston Texans football franchise. Could you explain to our audience how that love of the Texans has manifested itself into business opportunities and a part of your entrepreneurial platform?
Oh, I think I would do it a disservice.
Wow, okay.
But it's such an energy. Like, even now, I'm already smiling, right? And I haven't even said anything. So it does so much. I love football, okay? And so I do come from a family of coaches in that sense. I have quite a few that are actually still coaches in the Dallas area in football.
Right.
And I feel like football is the best reality TV that exists.
Right.
And so that energy is even heightened more when I attend live.
Right.
So I took a road trip years ago with some friends and became like overly addicted to the point where now I technically have not seen the Texans play in only one NFL stadium.
Oh, wow.
And that's the one in Buffalo. Yeah. Of course, there's two new stadiums, but that's different. I mean,
understand the impact of that?
Because she just tried to slide that in. There's a lot of quote unquote diehard football fans, and usually the way that it manifests itself is maybe season tickets,
and I can't even get season tickets.
Face painting
that I want.
Tailgating.
Oh, I tailgate heavily.
Oh no. Obviously, when you visit every stadium in the league, but I want to ask you this question because I'm sure while you're traveling around the league to the different stadiums, people are always surprised that a practicing attorney is such a diehard football fan that she dedicates every weekend to traveling the country to see your team. So where did that passion come from, where you decided that, look, I like my team so much that I want to see them home and away?
It's like glued to the seat. And you just it just takes over you. Right. And so Actually, it enlightens my whole week. I can plan out my whole week, be super productive because I know for sure there's a game coming on the weekend. So my most productive period is actually during the season, even though it seems like I have like zero time, but it forces me into a schedule. And I watch as much football as I attend. So it's a Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday kind of deal. It's not just only the Texans. I literally attend the games. It's a job on Sunday.
Right.
Get up early, tailgate, attend the game, come home, catch the rest of the game.
Absolutely.
So I just love it. I can't even explain how you feel in the seat.
Right.
And you get motivated for the kickoff. Like,
So, no, I want you, because please share with the audience all of this passion that you have for the game and how it manifested itself in your writing.
so I would think that passion lives within me, period. Like, I only gravitate to things that give me passion. So I think naturally what's for you, and I think that's probably one of the best things for entrepreneurs to think about is like passion, right? So that passion drove, and then it became the travels, and then I found myself offering attention to people's questions and desires to do the same thing, whether locally or travel. And I was like, maybe I should write a book, because I would get asked all the time, actually, by ladies, like, I just don't understand what's going on. Like, I really like the game, but if you ask a guy, it's never the right time. And,
Absolutely.
like, football is really, for my age group, one of those sports where we always grew up being in the band, the cheerleader, in the stands with everybody else. There was not a formal introduction.
To the
you
game.
played basketball. You played volleyball. You ran track. You could touch tennis. You could touch every sport.
Except for that
but
one.
that one, you were a spectator or a cheerleader or a combination of both. So in order to learn it, you had to actually make a choice. And I just made that choice, which led to a book, which led to more travel, which led to other sports.
Now, I gotta ask, because when you first started receiving these questions from the different ladies, because I'm sure that in your peer group, friends, family, when you started like traveling to every game, home and away, I bet you were like, what's gotten into her? But I want to make sure we touch on this for the audience. At what point did you think that this is something that I want to publish and that I need to get everything squared away from a business perspective so that I can not only publish this book, but also market it and distribute it as well?
I think that's probably because I was already a lawyer. So, and my background is engineering, so everything has a process.
Right.
So even though you may have the idea of the book, I took a more relaxed approach with writing. I actually would record myself on the way to work every day, because I had an hour commute at the time, and I would basically dictate my book.
Yes.
In no particular order,
Yep.
just whatever concept came to me that day. And then I carved out time to myself to not do anything else until the book was finished. And I always had other ideas and concepts, but I had a book called Other Ideas. And it was really an idea from my best friend. And he was like, you need to table all that till you finish the book. And the only way to make sure was every idea was in the Other Ideas book.
Yeah.
And the only focus was the book. And I started a female fan group, and that kind of propelled me into staying on track to make sure I gave them something. That was my
Absolutely.
give back to them. So whenever you feel like you're giving something and people can benefit from it, the monetizing of it will naturally go that way. It wasn't so much like, let me market and just force this book on people. It's more natural for me, and I'm comfortable with the way it goes in that nature, like meeting people on the road and people sitting next to me in the stands ordering my book. That feels more personable to me than just, hey, buy my book and it's on sale, So
I want you to know I thank you so much for sharing your creative process. I know quite a few artists, and someone being as transparent and candid about how they create is not something you can always get people to do, especially publicly, while it's being recorded in perpetuity. So thank you so much. But I want to definitely ask you, and this is something I'm sure everyone in the audience would really be excited to hear your answer about. At what point of an artist's creative process do they need to reach out to a legal professional like yourself? is that something that you would start before you even get to dictating or recording yourself in the car? Or at what stage do you feel like, okay, you've shown enough stick-to-itiveness and persistence that you need to protect all your intellectual property?
Anytime you talk to someone else.
Oh, wow.
So remember, ideas are not protected. So once you disclose an idea to someone else, it's fair game.
Oh, wow.
So, and that doesn't mean you retain a lawyer and start spending tons of money. It's just to put it in perspective. Different books require different things. If you have a book that requires more history, attachment to it, then you may need to get resources and be approved to use that information. True. So that's why you may need more attention at the beginning versus later. I pretty much purposely targeted my book to use public information.
Right.
General information, and then bring it together. And to avoid intellectual property issues, I use my own image in the book and had my own self turned into a cartoon. Then I didn't have to seek permission. So anytime you talk to someone, you have somebody design something, you already need some type of protection. So you need NDAs. You know, you need to make sure you own the rights. People think when they buy logos, when they buy covers, they're the sole owner, and you're not. You're now a joint owner. It's a joint work. It's your idea, it's their creativity, or a combination of both. So I say the minute you start telling someone else.
No, and this question is something that I've always thought about as someone who's an entrepreneur and a business person as well, and I'll definitely ask you for the audience. When it comes to reaching out to legal professionals, is there a specific literary professional that deals in literary law? And if so, what are they called? Is there a certain aspect of law for just authors and publishers? Or should they reach out to just about, let's say they have a attorney that is a friend or family member? Is that someone
Reach
they
out to
can refer you out to?
Gransberry. She know everything. Like, I'm sorry, I got to interrupt you because it's funny because literally I remember when we first met, every time I had a question about anything dealing with law, I would just reach out to you. And you either pointed me in the right, you always knew something, bits and pieces about everything. But then if you didn't, you always knew what direction to point me in. So I'm sorry, I just interrupted you.
That's okay.
But I just thinking about it because you my go-to. Like literally, like something come up, I'd be like, okay, let me just hit Gransberry and see how she feel about this.
Right.
And literally, that's how the conversation would start. I just ask her thoughts on it, and she would help me out. But yeah.
Oh, that's outstanding.
So the answer to your question would be more so that it's IP in general, right? And a lawyer has the opportunity to take whatever they feel is in their wheelhouse. And you just hope they're being honest about it. But definitely an IP lawyer, because they're working directly with copyright and trademark issues. They might not necessarily be a patent attorney. That's a different designation, which I do have, but it requires a different test. It's under IP, but it's more rigorous.
I understand totally.
So in general, for your composers, singers, writers, that's trademark copyrights.
Right.
I don't always take every client. I'm very particular with my time and energy, so I'm very good at referring out.
Oh, that's
so
outstanding.
Even if, and it's not always because I don't want the client, I am heavily addicted to sports. That's just an honesty thing.
Right.
And so when I've set my mind to do something particular, like for instance, I went to see the Lakers for Christmas, then I'm closed. So, but you need attention, and I have no problem deferring that attention. So definitely someone who works in trademarks and copyrights for all of your creative people and contracts and business. But usually they do some overlapping of that because everything you're protecting is probably tied to some type of contract.
I know, and what makes your thoughts and insights so invaluable is that there's not a lot of business professionals that feel comfortable letting everyone know that, yes, I can be a referral source. If I cannot or don't have the time to dedicate towards ... I can definitely point you in the direction of someone's reputable, hardworking, knowledgeable, and experienced. So from that standpoint, anyone who's ever known you should definitely take advantage of you as a resource from that standpoint. We're going to take a break, but when I come back, I want to talk to you a little bit about your background before law.
Okay.
Because I want to give everyone in our audience opportunity to have an idea for you to illustrate your evolutionary process. because a lot of times what Larry and myself have found speaking to our guests is that people see you as a finished product, and they might tend to underestimate what it took
I'm not finished.
to get there. She
I'm
say,
in
I'm still
progress."
evolving. So
I'm in progress.
We'll talk a little bit about
No,
that
no,
pink
we're gonna
and
talk
green
about
too.
that when we get
I'm
back.
surprised she ain't complimented you on your jacket since it looks so much like that pink and
Hey,
green
man,
they
hold
got.
on, man. Oh,
Oh, yeah.
excuse me.
Yeah.
Okay, see, like everything coming out now. We'll get right back. Everyone, stay tuned because we're going to talk about my green jacket when we come back from here. This small break from our sponsors. We'll be right back. This is Rick Davis, realtor and host of the Prime Real Estate Network. Are you currently leasing or looking to relocate to the Houston area and you find yourself falling in love with a home but aren't quite in a position to purchase? Well, no worries. We offer the Right to Purchase program. We can place you in the home of your dreams at current market rental rates and give you up to 3 years to buy. Did you know that a majority of the homes that are for sale offer better quality than those that are for rent? So why wait? Don't cheat yourself, treat yourself. Let me and my team help you purchase a home that you and your family can fall in love with. Give me a call today at 832-928-3963. And remember to follow the Prime Real Estate Network podcast on YouTube, Facebook, iTunes, Spotify, and Google Play. I look forward to hearing from you soon. Be blessed. Welcome back to the Prime Real Estate Network podcast. I'm your host, Rick Davis. You can follow me at Prime Real Estate Rick on Instagram and Facebook. If you're looking to buy, sell, or invest in real estate, visit our website at brooksanddavis.com. And as always, if you're looking to buy the latest and greatest in men's and women's hats and fedoras, visit our sponsor at shopelitestyle.com. As always, my co-host, the Texas Real Estate King, Larry W. Brooks, riding shotgun. What's going on, brother?
Hey, man, want to give a shout out to Pure Hustle. That brand continue to come in, sponsor. Been doing great, man. It's what can I tell you, man? It's priceless.
Yeah, man.
So.
It's been. I'm really proud of the work that you guys have been doing, and I'm really glad that the community is starting to embrace the brand.
No doubt about it.
You're starting to
man.
see the Pure Hustle logos on more IG pages and more
everywhere.
Facebook stories.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
definitely big shout out to the fam for
No
that
doubt.
one.
Shout out Danger One.
Already. So our guest today is Miss Natasha L. Gransberry, real estate attorney and published author. We've been here talking to her about not only her career in real estate, but also her career as a writer and author. So thank you for sitting in with us today, Miss Natasha.
Always. Anything for Larry?
Hey, that's all I'm saying. I
Now,
love that.
I want to talk about your book.
Okay.
Do we have a copy of your book here?
We do. I'm sorry. I had put it away.
Let's make sure we show everyone in the world your book. And the reason why I want to make sure
I have to grab it in a second.
we show everyone what you've written is because I think a lot of times there are so many aspiring authors and entrepreneurs that have great ideas that from a creativity standpoint are second to none. But I'm sure you've run into this before, is that the organization and the planning is what can stop a great idea to come from becoming a completed project. So please, let's show everyone your book and talk about what it is that they'll find as far as information, how they could go about getting it, and why you're so very, very
Passionate
proud
about
of
it.
it and passionate about the project.
So the name of my book is The Gransberry Gridiron Guide, and it is 4 quarters of a great introduction. It is clearly, it talks about the disconnect of men and women with football and the man caves and tailgating and traveling, things that people don't think about, like, no restrooms. And, you could invite a young lady and she might not have any clue. And then there's like a rift because she doesn't really understand what's out there.
Right.
And so I have to go over first downs using football fields and the flags. And just common terms, who's on offense, who's on defense. And I know to you that may seem so like basic, but for a first-time football mom, it's a great deal of information, and it's very simple. It's created to be able to just flash read. It's 100 pages, light, personal stories.
What I think that is so invaluable about what you do and what you provide with your book, The Gridiron Guide, is this, and Larry can speak to this. We used to have some friends that played hockey.
Okay.
For the Houston Aeros when Houston had a hockey team. And the
Shout out
reason
Kyle.
why I've learned to appreciate how everyone isn't raised to know the game of football is because Larry and I had to be raised to learn the game of hockey.
No doubt about it.
And there's nothing more frustrating than going to a live hockey match and not knowing when to cheer, not knowing the rules, and not knowing penalties or anything like that. So once I had that humbling experience, I've learned to not assume that everything that's happening on a football field is understood by everybody in the crowd. So it's great that you're doing this, and I hope it serves as an inspiration for more men and women who are knowledgeable about the game to not to explain it in a way that makes them seem like an elitist or that they are talking down, where you want to make sure everyone knows that you're illustrating it, because football is a very complicated game.
Right. And this is not teaching you the game. This won't make you run routes. This won't teach you the route tree.
Right.
That's not the goal. Okay, that's not the goal
No doubt about
here. There are different lanes.
Oh, wow.
And so that's probably why I really love my group. Shout out to Pumps Cleats Couture for all my women who have been supporting me for years. It's because it's a fan space for whatever type of fan you are.
Right.
If you are only into the Seahawks because of the team colors, I'm okay with that.
Yeah.
I'm okay with that. And if you change teams every year, that's fine. It's your money.
Yeah.
So that's different to you guys, and that's fine. And I'm not changing teams myself.
I will never change.
Right. So unless it's LeBron,
right?
I'm a LeBron fan, not his team's fan. So, but
sound like my mom.
It is what it is. It is what it
LeBron
is.
fan.
But I'm saying the point is having that respect in that space.
Absolutely.
And that allows people to come into it and enjoy it more. I've had several women travel to games with me or attend games who are fans of other teams.
Right.
And it's really about the experience. I can have a great time at a game. So that was really the focal point, and it just really made it easy to write because it was the energy just transferred to words.
First
So
things
you and I actually, so before because I know we talked a lot about it, but you and I actually met with you inside of the real estate space.
Correct.
So as far as real estate law, where do you see that at or in the times that we're in right now? What are your thoughts on that?
It's very healthy.
That's good. Yeah.
It's very healthy.
Yeah.
It just depends. Personally, I don't really work on the side of evictions and foreclosures at this time. I have in the past. I've actually worked in every side except farm and ranch.
Wow.
So it's very busy. There's a plethora of sales still going on.
Yeah.
The only thing that's changed a little bit is the investor market as far as being able to have their loans backed, so that may slow down some of the newer transactions. But from a standpoint of healthy buying and selling, it's still flourishing. And sometimes you live in a bubble. It may not be the same somewhere else.
No doubt.
So you think it's falling apart, but it's still very healthy.
Very healthy. I would agree with that. No doubt about it. Yeah.
I want to make sure you have an opportunity before we sign off this week to share all your contact information. So if anyone who's getting interested in getting into the literary space, author, can you share A, where they can find your book, and B, how they could go about getting in contact with you for any legal advice as far as organization and getting started, or even a referral?
So everything is tied to my name. So the Gransberry is all of my contact information:
Absolutely.
Twitter, Instagram, Facebook. My non-private number
That's right.
is
You better give it to
713
At some point, I'll take it down.
244-8799.
Absolutely.
But if by chance you dial my other number, I will still take your call.
See, for those of you that
So-
are on the podcast, y'all needed to see the side eye on that. I just got.
But Larry, no, seriously, because Natasha has a really exciting event and program that she's been heading up. I wanted to give you an opportunity to talk to the audience about what you have going on as far as community outreach, etc.
So basically, I have a scholarship available to a college student for LLC.
Uh-oh.
I will
wow.
pay the filing fees out of my personal pocket. And file it for you and serve as your registered agent for 1 year. You just have to write an essay and follow me on social media. It's not really that difficult. And I've got the rest covered. I was an entrepreneur in college,
Yeah.
high
Matter
school.
of fact, my first LLC you did. Now
So-
we think about it, yeah. She did
So
the LLC for
I'm a
Brooks and Davis,
believer in
don't they?
entrepreneurship.
Absolutely.
So totally.
Absolutely. I want to thank you so much. A lot of times, Larry will tell me, Rick, I've been working on trying to get this guest for a while. And every time he's told me that, the guests have exceeded my wildest expectations. So thank you so much. Hopefully, Larry won't have to work as hard to get you to come back a second time.
Yeah, because we really left off a lot of her resume.
Oh, my
That's
goodness
okay.
gracious.
That's
There's so much
okay.
going on.
I
We-
will make myself available
No
again.
doubt about it.
Hey, Mr. Brooksy, man, what you got going on, man? Share with the audience what's
Nothing.
going on at Brooks.
Mm-mm. Don't worry about finding me. I'll find y'all.
Well, everyone, on behalf of myself, Mr. Larry W. Brooks, and the lovely Natasha Gransberry, I want to thank everyone for tuning into the Prime Real Estate Network podcast this week. If you ever need anything, we're only an inbox, DM, text, or phone call away. Thank you so much. Live from the Sphere Podcast Studios. I want everyone to be blessed, and we'll see you all next Thursday.
Brooks and Davis Real Estate Firm LLC is marketing a property for sale right now that you can buy. These properties range from land lots for under $20,000 to move-in ready homes $500,000 and more, along with everything in between. To see this week's list of properties for sale you can buy now, go to bit.ly/BDREF weekly list. That's bit.ly/BDREF weekly list. If you plan on selling some real estate and you need it on the weekly list, call 713-665-8329 to speak with someone about it.